Howdy folks, I'm just going to go into a very quick replay review for the Crisp. So when we were playing this, I felt you did really good. You definitely had me on the back foot. Let's take a look at what you could have done better. This was your game to lose. 320. Yeah, this all looks good. Right. Let's go to like here. Getting a couple of Hydra out. How many Hydra to get out? Getting double Evo to get our... So a little bit low on drones here. Take a look at that in a second. Going out here to get that Ultra out. Right. This looks good. Coming out here to take an expansion. It's all good. Did you redrone? You did redrone. That's good. About here. A little bit low on drones here. Nice. So this looks perfect, right? What I'm a little worried about here is you have no vision, so you don't know if the Terran player is coming out. Right now we have, what? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, pretty soon there is going to be like 12 Goliaths coming out with +1 done. Okay, so you do have Overlord. That's good. Alright, so let's see what you do now. You're at 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Let's see, you got your macro. This macro hatch is a little bit low. Your floating money, 1,000, 1,000. Let's see if you use your money now. You are using it, okay. A little bit better larva use, but you're adding a macro hatch. Yeah, that's all good and fine. This creep colony would have been better like here or back here, just so it has a wider range of coverage, so it can't come in vultures off the side or off here. So this was a really good move, especially since I wasn't really challenging you in any way. Right, you come in here, run away with your overlords. Look how hard it is on this map to just cover these 3 bases. My entire army's over here. So, and I can't go up here, so I have to go all the way around and come back here. Right? So as I'm doing that, and I'm getting blocked here because I use this as a choke, doing a lot of damage to me. Well, let's take a look at you. So you can see there's a sizable difference between your drone count and my SCV count. So even though you're doing damage, you don't have the economy behind this. So probably after this drop, in addition to taking another expansion, you should have droned up, should have oversaturated, or taken 2 expansions here and here, or maybe even down here, the expansion down here instead of this one. This one's a little bit open, right? Making me come back, and then immediately afterwards, you also counter here, which was a really good move. Doing really good on upgrades. I think you could have started the next upgrades a little bit faster. It doesn't look like you started them immediately after the other ones are done. Right? And most importantly, you kill this. You do get a couple more drones up. You do take this base. I think you do get a queen's nest at some point somewhere. Alright, you come in here, kill a couple more units. You're doing really good. Really, really good. I barely hold this attack, right? Now let's take a look at the game state from here. We're about even on workers. You're a little bit under in supply, but you've also got 4 bases. 4th base coming up, right? You're in a much, much healthier spot than I am. Whereas I'm got pretty much reset. I have 4 tanks, and I can't, you're Mass Hydra, I can't move out of my base, because if I move out of my base, you're gonna come drop me. So I'm in a period where I need to turtle pretty hard. So now what do? I think this is a moment where you lost the game. So you have 2 options here. First option is go drop me, like right now, right? You mass up, you have 700 of 1600, just mass up, and you're doing that, you're building 7 more Hydras. Just go and kill me. That probably would have been the best option, just come in here and kill me, like drop Hydra here, here, here. You have more units than I do. The second best option is expand. So instead of taking just the 4th, like you were pretty far ahead at this point in time. So take a 5th base here or a 5th base here. Make sure you get your upgrades going, drone up a little bit, and go into Queens. Like right now is the time to go into Queens, or even earlier than this. Like preferably you'd want to get, preferably as you're taking your 4th, you already want to have some Queens spawning. And when we're in this situation where I need a turtle, and I know you're going Hydra, this is when the Queens are useful. Like about right now or soonish, the Queens are going to have energy, so I have no way to stop your Queens from coming in and just spawn brutaling and killing all my tanks. And that will either force me to leave, or you're just going to be able to A-move me with Hydra because you're going to get rid of all my tanks. You're going to keep on resetting my tank count. I'm only on 2 factory with add-ons, so it's not like I can make that many more. And I'm also only on 2 gas. Like one thing you know about mech is gas starved, and if I'm not taking expansions, then I'm very limited by the number of units I can produce. Whereas for you, you're on Hydra. Hydra don't take that much gas. Look how much gas you have. You're more mineral starved, and it's much easier for you to take mineral bases when you have map control, which you do right now after those 2 attacks. So we talked about the option of dropping and just killing me, finishing move there. We talked about the option of playing it safe and just mass expanding, using Queens to dwindle down the tank count. And another option is to go Spire. You're going to Muta, right? Mass Muta at this point. You have quite a big gas bank, and you're going to see this when you're playing Hydra openings. You're going to have a big gas bank. Now you can either put that into Queens, or you can put that into Muta. You can do a Muta switch right now, but you don't have a Spire. So I think one thing you can change up about your build is get a Spire and a Queen's Nest earlier, even before you get Hive, just so you have the flexibility of switching tech up a little bit here and there. Imagine if you suddenly show up with 20 Muta. I have 0 turrets and I think 1 Goliath right now. Okay, 4 Goliaths, but still, like you auto win that way as well. So like in this game state, if you, like you can outright win using drops. You can out expand me if you want to practice your macro. If we change up our build a little bit more, so we're thinking about getting Queen's Nest and or Spire a little bit earlier, then you have the option of a tech switch, and immediately after the tech switch, dump all your minerals. You definitely have the larva. You have a lot of hatches with unused larva, and just kill me with Muta. right? You're getting more hatches, getting some drones. This all looks very good. Yeah, definitely upgrades were late here. You need to get these, you need to get 2-2 started. So what I like to do is, I like to put one of my Evo chambers on a very high hotkey, something like an 890 or something like that, and just keep on checking it time to time if the upgrade is finished. The leading upgrade, right? Because if you're doing these both at the same time, it doesn't matter, but sometimes you like stagger your Evos so the upgrades aren't in order. So I hotkey the one that has the upgrade that's the furthest along, and I check back constantly. I also do that in matches where link speed is very important. So something like ZVZ, ZVP, where I need to know when link speed is because I'm waiting on an engage. So I would hotkey my pool to like 9 or 0 and keep on checking if link speed's done. Also do that in ZVP when I'm watching my Hydra upgrades. Because if you're doing some of these very tight ZVP builds, you want to queue up all your builds in order, like one by one. So it's useful to hotkey the building where you're going to be doing the upgrades and just checking it constantly, making sure your upgrades are started ASAP. So let's see what else we can talk about here. Right, you do another drop. It was a tiny bit late. Like I had already gotten into a number of tanks. So if this was like a minute earlier, a minute and a half earlier, it would have done a lot more damage. Right, so what do you do from this game state? This game state is looking a little bit worse for you because you've kind of, I mean, you still have an econ advantage. I do think you still have an econ advantage because you have a large number of bases, large number of hatches, and so on and so forth. But you're maybe like you don't know what to do, maybe, so you're falling behind from that kind of perspective. So like I said, I'm turtling, trying to get out of my base, trying to get a third. I'm gas starved. I need to get more gas. You're over here. You can be soft containing me. It's hard for me to get up here because of the ramps. So what you could be doing is you could be challenging me coming up to take my third and trying to dumpster me every time I come out. Just A moving in. You could be dropping into my base, although at this point I have turrets and I have a tank line set up, so you need to drop on top of these tanks. Preferably Bermuda switch would be better here. Queens would be the best idea, but we're a little bit behind on queens. Yeah, I think this attack wasn't a very good attack. Even though you do have high ground, you're kind of coming into a bottleneck. And preferably you want to be attacking into this from multiple angles. So you could have taken a group of these Hydra, come down here, and come across, come on from the side. Over here, it would have been hard over here. We could have maybe taken some Hydra through the narrow choke point. But if just sending them one by one in here, it's kind of giving me free kills. Not necessarily the best attack. I'm also ahead of you on upgrades. You did start 2-2 now, so very late. Probably like 5-6 minutes late on that. Really needed high-tech units here. Hive coming along. Yeah, there's not much more to say here. Some key tech was missing, some key upgrades were missing. If you had these queens a little bit earlier, I think you could have definitely broken this. We can talk about the last attack, right? Because I think there was a big attack up here. Right before the game ended. Let's go. I want to see how you're cloning your queens. Right, so the first thing you want to know about queens, they all have energy. That's good. You have 11. You have 11 queens. I have 11 tanks, so that's perfect. 11 siege tanks. So what can you do here? Well, you need vision, right? So you could start by just coming in one queen over here and using a parasite to get vision. And then the second thing you would need to do after that, once you have vision, is clone. So Day 9 covers this in the video that I linked to, but you would start your queens back here, and then you would go, once you have vision, right, you'd go all of them selected, spawn broodling in 1, then unclick 1. Spawn broodling another tank, unclick 1. Spawn broodling another tank, unclick 1. Spawn broodling another tank, unclick 1. And so forth, until you have all your queens out. And then at the same time as you get through that, it's good to start your queens like back here, right? So along the ways. And once you get through that micro, then you coordinate that with an attack with all your units. Preferably you want your units down here before you make that attack. And as soon as these are all done spawn broodling, you want to run them away, because you don't do that either. It's quite a bit of geez, man, you got some crazy guy in the chat. Teres Optio. Gotta go ban that guy. Right, so you only get 2 spawn broodlings off. You could have had many more units too, because you're... This game is far from over as well. I think if you had saved your queens and ran them away and then just remaxed again, you could just continue attacking into me, because you're going to be remaxing faster than I can. Mech builds slow, right? So you shouldn't have left this game. You should have ran your queens away. You should have picked off more tanks with your queens, because a lot of these queens still had some energy. Yeah, some of these, like, I think you only lose like 3 spawn broodlings. So don't run away, and then just keep on remaxing, because you're still in a very good spot in this game. You didn't lose. Maybe just got discouraged because of that bad attack. But you're at 2k, 1k. I have a little bit of a bank, but I have much less than you, and my units take longer to build. So I hope this helps you improve again. Let's play again soon and see if you can incorporate this feedback into your play going forward.